like President Trump does for the United States for the Southern Trump. I traveled around the state, including spots here in CSRA, and it's deep in my belief that leadership with a business plan can really solve problems and help Georgia in a big way. I have met a lot of Georgians who are struggling, trying to make ends meet, and it's just broken my heart to see widows come up to me and tell me they're going to have to sell their house and the one that they raised their children because of property taxes. That's insane. We're going to freeze and then cut the property taxes because we can't have this anymore for our seniors. I'll be the Chief Business Development Officer of Georgia. Just like Rick Scott did down in Florida, I'm going to be calling CEOs and my fellow CEOs all over the country to bring business and to do business in Georgia. But also, we're going to really invest in our existing companies and our existing people and help rural areas of Georgia. I have really deep in my belief that I can really make a difference in the rural areas of Georgia, period, to bring them some economic relief. What I have realized is that we don't have a political problem, we have a business problem that requires business solutions, and that's what I'll do. I have built a $3 billion business without any outside financial help, and when you know how to do stuff like that, you can do a lot of things to solve problems, and that's what I plan on doing all over the state. I will also tell you I'm very big I'm an old school law and order guy. And we're going to respect our police, do what they say, and we're going to obey the law. And I'm going to make this Georgia the #1 worst place to be a criminal, especially a criminal illegal. I am running because I want to have impact. I have been giving away money that I believe is God's money since 2008 for the purpose of having an impact on people that don't have a voice. So I am running for those people who feel forgotten, that don't have a voice, so that we can help them. I cannot be bought, and I will do everything I can to make it a better place for Georgia, to make it conservative, and to win in November. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
About the Georgia business. It seems like you're inheriting a pretty good state if you become governor, that there's already a strong business presence that seems to be rolling along. How can you improve on this?
Well, first of all, we're going to keep on making it better. One of our principles in our companies is growth and always become better, just like the Georgia Bulldogs. They always want to get better and better. So we do have a good foundation, but we still haven't solved the problem for the economic problems in the rural areas of Georgia. So I can enhance that and make it even better and accelerate that development and so forth. In order for us to reduce taxes, which I'll cut half in the first term, is we have to freeze and run our state government better, more efficiently. We have to grow GDP for the whole state 4 or 5%. By doing that, we're able to reduce those taxes. In order to do that, we're going to have to bring in other types of business and so forth, and keep doing it. Just because we're #1, we're not going to rest on our laurels there. We're just going to expand and expedite and increase the growth of it.
Well, do you expect to or hope to get an official endorsement from President Trump before the election?
I certainly don't expect anything. That's up to President Trump. But I will tell you, when I'm governor, I'll be his favorite governor.
You mentioned you've been to a lot of rural communities. Obviously, the wildfires going on right now. I'm sure that's we're in a drought ourselves over here in the CSRA. So, what have you been kind of hearing about that? Obviously, environmental top of mind right now with what's going on in Brantley County and Clinch County right now.
Well, first of all, I've been praying for rain. I hope all of us are, because we need it. And I got a download from our commissioner about the fires in South Georgia and so forth, and this is unbelievable, and it is because of that. But I also have a solution on our water problem in Georgia, and I look forward to talking more about that. not only obviously the taxes and making sure that we stay conservative in reducing property taxes and so forth. Those are major things. But there's a lot of other opportunities we have. And I think one of the problems is we don't have enough water going to the southwest side of the state and the southern parts of the state and so forth, especially for our farmers. And so I'm going to solve that as well. And obviously we're going to always be concerned about environmental concerns. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it balanced. But we're going to do it in a way that gets results. Everything I approach, I have found that the solution to most problems is identifying the problem first. And so by doing that, then you create an action plan. One of the things I find about politicians, they just talk. It's bumper sticker stuff. They talk and get nothing done. I mean, just look what just happened in the last legislation. They've been talking about reducing property taxes and so forth like that, and then my opponent basically killed the bill that cut property taxes. So, I'm not into talking. I actually do into action and getting results, and I think that's what we need in the government, that is actually focusing on that versus on helping themselves.
On that front, I mean, if elected, are you planning on quitting, having these state contracts that you've?
Oh, I don't need the state contract. I'd cancel it tomorrow. So I would never do business. Here's the issue. It's not illegal, but I don't want to do anything that even has the appearance of conflict of interest. Period. I would never do anything to benefit. I don't need the contract. Once you, I would love for y'all's press to actually go read the contract. You know how much revenue we get out of that? Our company, 1.5%, right in the contract. 1.5%. That's what we get. When Governor Kemp called me and said we have people dying, we need help, I'm going to respond to that every time. I was glad to use the federal money that Trump sent to us to do that, that reimburse and pay for it for the state. But when it comes to saving lives, I don't care about things like anything else but doing that. And that's what we did. But I want you to read the contract. It says we get 1.5% of revenue. Everything else goes to agencies and doctors and nurses and so forth.
I guess I kind of want to ask about obviously we've had some success with Governor Kemp kind of regarding the business side of things, and that's been kind of the focus for many of the statewide candidates in the state. What other ways, being in business yourself, that you think you could take the Georgia economy, maybe expand on certain industries that have already had success, and then maybe kind of bring some new industry into it?
Well, first of all, the first thing we need to do is, from a business standpoint, I actually like the concept of Doge. I think the concept of looking at every department, analyzing what's its objectives, is it reaching its objectives, and is it doing it in an efficient and effective manner and the most efficiently from a cost standpoint. I will do that in every department. I will tell you we need major investments in software in this state. I've looked at every part of the state, and I do not believe that we have software for any of our departments that was created in this century. And in order for us to really have effectiveness and so forth, we're going to have to invest, and we'll do that just like every other business does from that standpoint. From the standpoint of industry and so forth, first of all, we need to invest in our own industries. So, an example, I have dealt and talked with a lot of farmers about their plight. It's a tough business. It really is. We have limited suppliers that feed them, so they only have one or two people they can buy from. They have limited people they can sell to. Our fresh fruit and vegetable farmers have a lot of spoilage, and they're losing money because they have to get their fruit and vegetables to the store within 3 days or it spoils. The reason is because the manufacturer left that keeps it frozen in the cold and so forth, that extends the life so that they can have more. I would invest in us building that facility, creating a co-op so our farmers can have, they can sell 4 times more of the crops, and it brings lower food costs to all of us because they don't have so much spoilage and cost and waste and so forth from that standpoint. I would create micro-tech centers all over Georgia, in the small areas of Georgia. And what I mean is as long as you have fiber now. I would take young people that have lost their jobs in small towns like Blakely and train them on how to do development, technology support, cyber, all these things. They can do it from empty offices in Blakely or other areas of the state. And by doing that, we create $80,000 a year jobs and plus more employment, and we don't have to build any buildings, we don't have to spend a lot of money and so forth, so we have those kind of initiatives. So there's just a lot of things that we can do. But what we have to do is when we do business with other companies, it has to have an ROI that makes sense, and especially for the counties and for the state of Georgia from that standpoint. I know how to negotiate just like President Trump does, good deals. And deals that we don't have to throw away money, we don't have to throw away tax incentives and stuff like that. What we got to do is come up with a business arrangement that solves their problem and creates economic benefit to us and economic jobs for us.
Well, affordability has been a buzzword in the election year. What can a billionaire meaningfully tell Georgians about affordability?
Well, first of all, other than any other candidate up here, I've lived in the slums. I've been hungry. I know what it's like. I've been there. And there's no one that understands how to build something from nothing. So what I want to do is I want to show all Georgians how to take whatever plight they're in, pull themselves up by the bootstraps, take an opportunity, and they can have the same chance as an American dream as I have and other people have. But we first have to, educate them with our kids and so forth. We have to train them. We have to give them an opportunity, not a handout. I'm not talking about handouts. Well, I was on for welfare as a child. Welfare was a temporary bridge. We were embarrassed about it, but you did that until you can work. And if you work hard and are honest and try the best you can and try not to blame everybody else for your plight and take ownership for who you are and for your decisions, you can be successful in Georgia. And I plan on leading in that vision to help everybody in Georgia have a part of the American dream from that standpoint. I'm not an out-of-touch billionaire. I help provide 700 scholarships to kids that aged out of foster care. I know what their plight is because they don't have a lot of chances. I'm giving them an opportunity. We give to people all over the state and the world and trying to help people that need help and so forth. So, my biggest reason to answer your question, there's nobody that has more of a heart for people than I do. I've been doing it since 2008, giving away all the money that I believe is God's money, not mine. And so that's the reason why I think I can help. And I actually have solutions. To me, it's amazing you get elected as mayor of the largest city in the financial district in New York just by mentioning the words affordability. But then when you ask for solutions, there are none. It's just all bumper sticker talk just to get elected. And I think people are tired of just talk. I think they want somebody actually can solve problems, and that's what I plan on doing.
That's more of a statewide issue. Do you have any issues that Augusta area voters have been presenting you with or specific to Augusta?
I have not had specific, nothing that's specific just to Augusta. I think everybody has affordability issues. Everybody has property tax issues. They have getting jobs issues. Our young people can't afford homes, and because of all the increases there and so forth. So we have affordability. Our major affordability issue is basically a supply chain problem. We have limited competition on purchasing materials in the system. That's food, that's construction, that's everything that we do. That's what's driving up affordability. And so everybody has that problem. And so I am listening to everybody that gives me specific things about their area because I care about them. But I have not been presented anything specific other than everybody having affordability and property tax and the tax problem. Good. Thank you very much.